Globe to commemorate World Theatre Day 2026, celebrating the art form's power to entertain, educate, and inspire social reflection. This year's theme, Theatre and a Culture of Peace, underscores theatre's enduring role in fostering dialogue, unity, and understanding within communities and across nations. Cameroon mourns the passing of Foli Diran, the beloved television icon known for the hit comedy show Deli, who passed away on March 26, 2026 at the Yaoundé General Hospital after a prolonged illness. Admired for his humor, talent, and cultural impact, he leaves behind a grieving family and a nation in sorrow. These stories and more will be yours in a bit. Thanks once more for joining us. The 14th Ministerial Conference of World Trade Organization is ongoing in Yaoundé from March 26 to 29, 2026. The event at the Yaoundé Conference Center was opened by the organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in the presence of other government ministers and the Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Ngute, representing the President, His Excellency Paul Biya. The conference brings together trade ministers from 166 member countries to discuss reforms, strengthen cooperation, and promote sustainable global trade. Let's get details in the following report. Amid growing global trade uncertainties and protectionist pressures, ministers and economic stakeholders have convened to strengthen cooperation within the multilateral trading systems. In this context, the 14th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization is taking place in Yaoundé from March 26 to 29, 2026, bringing together trade ministers and senior delegations from 166 member countries. The high-level meeting at the Yaoundé Conference Center was officially opened under the leadership of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in the presence of Cameroon's Prime Minister and Head of Government Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Ngute, representing the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya. Ahead of the proceedings, the World Trade Organization Director General urged stronger collaboration between governments and the private sector to drive a sustainable growth and shared prosperity.
I want you to keep speaking out, speaking your mind, letting us know what you think. This is a moment for hackers to do the real work. We are not expecting ministers to provide solutions here on reform. We want them to just debate the issues among themselves. Remember, this is the first time in 2 years since we had a disruption that ministers will be seeing each other face to face. They need to discuss the issues. They need to take the reforms to be done seriously. All we want is them to endorse this program of reforms, deliver 2 or 3 other deliverables that I already mentioned, and then set us on our way for a successful and legal position to meet you.
Over the 4-day deliberations, participants at the 14th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization are examining critical issues shaping international commerce, notably trade facilitation, digital trade, investment, and targeted support for developing economies, particularly in Africa. The gathering also serves as a key platform for member states to negotiate reforms, strengthen cooperation, and build consensus on policies capable of enhancing global economic resilience. As host nation, Cameroon is leveraging the event to consolidate its standing as a dependable partner in multilateral trade and diplomacy, with expectations that the conference will yield practical outcomes that promote fairer trade systems and sustain long-term economic growth. The recent extension of the term of office of members of parliament from March 30th to December 20th, 2026 has sparked intense debate in Cameroon, while others hail it as a necessary measure to ensure continuity and stability. Others see it as a clever political move to maintain the status. As the nation grapples with the implications of this decision, it is essential to examine the context and motivations behind it. Let's get Bertrand Tita in the following commentary.
The bill, which was deemed admissible at the chairman's conference, was defended by the minister delegate at the presidency of the Republic in charge of relations with Parliament, Wakata Bolvin, citing financial constraints and the need for proper preparation. The bill was subsequently adopted by the National Assembly during a plenary sitting chaired by the Right Honorable Speaker Datu Theodore and promulgated into law by the President of the Republic on March 25, 2026. On the surface, the extension appears to be a pragmatic solution to the challenges facing the country. The Election Commission, ELECAM, and previously announced that the legislative and municipal elections will be held in 2026, but the extension pushes the date to 2027. This raises questions about the government's readiness to hold free and fair elections and its commitment to democratic principles. Critics argue that the extension is a deliberate attempt to prolong the stay of the current parliamentarians who have been in office since 2020 and to delay the inevitable electoral process. They point out that this move will only serve to further stretch the ruling party's grip on power and stifle opposition's voices. On the other hand, proponents of the extension argue that it is necessary to ensure continuity and stability in the country. They contend the holding elections in the midst of economic challenges and logistical difficulties will be a recipe for disaster. They also argue that the extension will allow for the proper preparation of the electoral process, including the revision of voters' roll and the deployment of necessary resources. While both sides present valid arguments, it's clear that the extension of the parliamentary term is a complex issue with far-reaching implications. As Cameroonians, we must demand transparency and accountability from our leaders and ensure that any decision taken is in the best interest of the country and its people. The international community is watching, and it's imperative that the government adheres to democratic principles and ensure that the rights of citizens are protected. The next few months will be crucial in determining trajectory of the Cameroon's democratic journey. The extension of the parliamentary term is a necessary evil that has been justified by the government as a measure to ensure continuity and stability. However, it's crucial that we remain vigilant and demand accountability from our leaders. The road ahead will be long and winding, but we must stay committed to the ideals of democracy and good governance.
We now talk something else. We're still in line with this year's 2026 Women's Rights, Justice and Action Through Sport Forum, organized by Global Women Emancipation in Sport under the theme Equal Play, Equal Power, Advancing Women's Rights and Inclusion Through Sport. The global community is uniting to drive meaningful change. Women in the sport sector have often been violated, and as a result, the forum has set a clear agenda to eradicate harassment and create safe environments for female athletes. The forum shed light on the pervasive insecurity in women's sport, bringing to the fore physical, moral, and psychological abuse perpetrated by coaches and senior officials. Speakers made it unequivocally clear that such behavior is unacceptable and stressed the urgent need for concrete solutions that go beyond rhetoric. Harassment will no longer be tolerated in women's sport. Group leaders and officials must take responsibility for fostering a safe and inclusive environment, which requires a cultural shift where women's sports are genuinely valued, respected, and protected at all levels. We shall be bringing you more of this in our subsequent newscasts at 8 p.m. Let's now talk something else. As you heard in one of our lead stories, the news about Foli Diran's passing on the night of March 26, 2026 at the Yaoundé General Hospital sent shockwaves across the nation. Kamdis Television visited his residence in the Omispor neighborhood this Friday, March 27, 2026. 2026 and was met with a scene of profound sorrow as family members, close friends gathered to mourn the loss of a beloved television icon. Let's get details in the following report with the assistance of Madoshe Kwiati.
Having gotten the news of Foley Diran's passing on March 26, 2026 at the age of 68, family members, friends, media colleagues and neighbors gathered at his residence in the Omispo neighborhood to witness firsthand the painful reality of the loss of a man whose voice and humor once filled homes with joy. The atmosphere was heavy with grief as tributes poured in for the veteran entertainer, widely admired for his dedication to the craft and his enduring contribution to Cameroon's television and theatre landscape. Tears, silence and heartfelt prayers marked the solemn gathering.
À l'hôpital général, on a trouvé ce qui embêtait Foley. Donc les neurologues m'ont dit que c'est un grand malade. Donc on va continuer le traitement à la maison et il va revenir pour ses rendez-vous à l'hôpital. J'ai respecté tous les rendez-vous, je l'ai ramené à l'hôpital chaque fois qu'il fallait.
During his illness, Foley Diran-born Andrien Tafen benefited from notable support from the government, particularly through the intervention of the Minister of Public Health, who facilitated medical attention and follow-up care aimed at improving his condition.
Je voulais lui donner à manger parce que j'estimais que il n'a pas assez mangé. Je forçais. Je lui donne à manger. Et après, il a commencé à respirer d'une manière bizarre. J'ai appelé le directeur de l'hôpital général. Il m'a dit qu'il faut le ramener. C'est comme ça que les enfants prennent un taxi, on le ramène à l'hôpital général. On est arrivé à l'hôpital général, il n'a pas tenu 2 heures. Et il est mort.
Beyond institutional support, what stood out most in his final moments was the unwavering love and devotion of his family. Relatives remained constantly by his side, offering comfort, strength and compassion throughout the difficult period.
J'ai accompagné mon mari jusqu'à la dernière seconde. Et j'ai fait tout ce qui était humainement possible. Il se repose. Ça fait très mal. Mon cœur est déchiré. Mais c'est la volonté de Dieu. On se plie à ça.
Throughout his distinguished career at Cameroon Radio Television, the late presenter became widely known for hosting the program Tam Tam Weekend and the iconic comedy show Deli, a program appreciated nationwide for its humor and creativity, turning weekends into joyful moments for many families. As the curtain falls on the earthly journey of Foley Diran, Cameroon remembers not only a talented performer but a symbol of laughter, resilience and cultural pride. In the hearts of his loved ones and admirers, he now rests in peace, his story complete, his memory everlasting. He leaves behind a wife, children and the entire nation to mourn him. May his soul rest in peace.
And may his soul rest in peace. Let's now talk something else, where in a major push to reshape the country's food landscape, the government of Cameroon and 5 United Nations agencies officially launched the Converge Food Joint Program under the UN Resident Coordinator Dr. Issa Sanogo. The program is expected to drive significant progress in Cameroon's food system with a strong emphasis on inclusivity and sustainability. Madoshe Kwiati and Melanimbo.
Transforming the country's food system is crucial for achieving food security, reducing poverty and promoting sustainable development. The launch of the Converge Food Joint Program in Yaoundé marks a significant step towards achieving these goals.
We are launching today a joint initiative called Converge Food. Converge Food is a catalytic initiative to transform food systems by strengthening the value chains of cassava, milk, dairy products, and rice, and by also boosting climate resilience.
This pioneering initiative brings to both ministries and United Nations agencies to strengthen key food value chains, promote agroecological practices, and increase access to finance for smallholder farmers. By promoting climate-smart practices and scaling up production, Converge Food aims to increase income and employment opportunities.
This project is important because it's a new way of working because it's a government approach under the lead of the Ministry of Agriculture with the involvement of many other ministries. It is also a one UN approach by bringing agencies such as FAO, WFP, UNEP, UNCDF, UNIDO, to ensure that we support the priorities of Cameroon in the vulnerable communities we are targeting. Also exploring how we can mobilize more partners so that the project can achieve its transformative objective.
Women are central to Converge Food, with 60% of beneficiaries being women and youth entrepreneurs, playing key roles in farming, food processing, and feeding families.
It is also innovative in the sense that it is targeting 60% of women and youth involved in cooperatives, agro entrepreneurs in those targeted areas. We have to seize this opportunity to encourage our partners. We are already working with some of them, such as the Food System Hub, the Global Flagship Initiative, the Joint SDG Fund. We are currently working with the Islamic Development Bank. We are in touch with the European Union to ensure that we come together to address this transformation that we are looking for the people who need it the most.
With its innovative approach and commitment to inclusivity, Converge Food is poised to make a lasting impact on Cameroon's food systems and contribute to the country's sustainable development.
Under the theme Theatre and a Culture of Peace, Cameroon joins the world in celebrating the transformative power of theatre to inspire dialogue, foster unity, and reflect society's stories. From pioneers of yesterday who brought stage and television drama into homes to today's performers blending tradition with innovation, Cameroonian actors continue to shape the nation's vibrant theatre scene and captivate audiences across generations. Let's get details in the following report.
Welcome to Cameroon, the lusty fatherland which our ancestors sang in song. You will see the mountains flow with honey and milk.
From lively village squares to television screens and modern performance halls, theatre has remained one of the most powerful ways societies tell their stories, challenge injustice, and celebrate culture. Theatre is the art of dramatizing human experiences before an audience through acting, dialogue, music, and movement with the aim of entertaining while educating. In Cameroon, this artistic tradition has steadily evolved into a vibrant platform for social commentary and public awareness, sustained by passionate performers who continue to use the stage as a mirror of society.
Monsieur Jean-Michel Kankan, qu'est-ce que la route?
La route, c'est un passé de terre. Là où le caterpillar est passé. La roue, on ne connaît pas où ça commence, on ne connaît pas où ça finit. Nous sommes préparés, chef de terre, de te satisfaire, chef de terre.
The growth of theatre in Cameroon has been driven by generations of actors whose talent shaped the industry at different moments in time. The pioneers of yesterday, such as Jean-Michel Kankan and Daniel Ndo, laid the foundation through memorable stage and television performances that brought theatre into homes. The actors of today, including Safaria and Chop Daniel, are sustaining that legacy by adapting the art to modern audiences through contemporary storytelling and digital platforms. While the theatre of yesterday relied largely on live stage performances rooted in folklore and moral lessons, today's theatre blends tradition with innovation, incorporating media technology and wider distribution channels to expand its reach. As the global community marks World Theatre Day under the 2026 theme Theatre and Culture of Peace, the celebration highlights the enduring role of theatre as a unifying force, one that promotes dialogue, tolerance and peaceful coexistence within communities and across nations.
Vous allez devoir repasser le mois prochain.
Je veux
Vous allez repasser le mois prochain.
repasser les habits de qui?
Il ne s'agit pas de repasser les vêtements, on vous demande de revenir le mois prochain.
And if you are just joining us, it is the 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. Let's now take you beyond our borders to get updates of what make news. First up will be in Egypt, South Africa, and then the EU. These stories are compiled in the following report. Heavy rainfall has caused significant flooding in Cairo, disrupting transportation and leaving several streets blocked by stalled vehicles. Authorities in Egypt have warned that thunderstorms, strong winds and cooler temperatures may persist for 2 days, prompting the deployment of emergency teams and heightened readiness in hospitals. The national airline Egypt Air has advised passengers to arrive at airports 4 hours before departure, while forecasters expect weather conditions to improve from Friday. Residents have been urged to remain vigilant and limit unnecessary travel during the adverse weather. Meanwhile, officials say continuous monitoring is underway to ensure public safety and rapid response to emergencies. South Africa has confirmed it will not attend the G7 Leaders Summit in Evangelisberg this June after being reportedly disinvited under U.S. pressure, which threatened to boycott the meeting if Pretoria participated. French President Emmanuel Macron had initially invited President Cyril Ramaphosa during last year's G20 summit in Johannesburg. Relations with the U.S. have soared under President Donald Trump over white genocide claims, bleak economic empowerment policies, and South Africa's genocide case against Israel. Despite the setback, Pretoria stressed its strong ties with France and its commitment to continued constructive engagement with the United States. The European Parliament has approved a plan to create offshore detention centers and impose stricter penalties on irregular migrants, passing the EU Return Regulation 389 to 206. The reform allows EU countries to travel rejected asylum seekers to return hubs in third countries and extends detention and entry bans for those who refuse to leave. Supporters say the measures strengthen border control, while critics, including Amnesty International, warn they risk serious human rights violations. Several EU countries are already deploying agreements with African nations to host these facilities. Negotiations with member states on the final text are expected to move quickly. And that was it for our 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure staying with you. Do enjoy the rest of the evening in the company of interesting programs over Camdis Television. Meanwhile, have a blessed weekend.